O diretor indiano Shyamalan, ele escreveu, dirigiu e produziu este filme. Ele ficou conhecido mundialmente pelo filme Sexto Sentido. E ele sempre aborda temas sobrenaturais. This time you are talking about a critic of our society. Is a critical, yes? Am I right?
I guess it turned out to be that way. You know, it wasn't conscious. You know, it was just a reaction to feeling scared. You know, and I get you can interpret a lot of things. You know, and a lot of people have been seeing a lot of political metaphors in this movie, and it makes total sense when I think about the emotions I was feeling when I wrote it.
Do you think this happened after September 11th?
It did. It
Yes?
did. I was shooting Signs on 2 days after September 11th, and then I wrote this probably 6 months after that. You know.
Okay, and you live in a small place like in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And do you feel this fear that you show in the movie? How do you choose your subject? Is something personal or?
It's kind of boring. I look out the window, and I live in an old house in Pennsylvania, and I see a forest, and the leaves are off the trees, and it looks kind of scary, and I go, huh. When I start writing, I guess I have to keep looking at different windows.
It was the inspiration, like
Yeah,
you join everything, like
Yeah, you just draw it, let it come. You know, I bought. You know, your life kind of evolves if you're open that way. You know, Signs. We built this farm for Signs. You know, and then I enjoyed being out there so much that I actually bought a farm. After that, and then I sat on the farm, and it has old buildings and all. And I look at the forest, and I wrote this. So it just keeps going and going.
And why do you have elements, like supernatural elements all the time in your movies? You're a spiritualist because you're Indian,
Yes, correct.
but you grew up in the
Yeah,
United States.
I was born in India, but I grew up in the United
But
States.
how do you find in your personal life the elements that you put in the movie, like these supernatural spiritualists, monsters, or scary things?
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, I was saying this before, I enjoy a place, I enjoy a world where there are things you don't know and you can't explain them. That's a much more exciting and fun place for me to believe that. You're not sure why that glass moved on the table. Is it a ghost? You know, you're not sure if there are aliens on other planets and have they been here before. You're not sure if there are creatures in the woods, you know. In the 1800s, they had the belief that there were creatures in the woods. They thought woolly mammoths were still alive, and they really did believe these things. And I find that fantastic. I wish I could have lived back then.
But you believe?
I still believe in
That something
things, yeah, that we don't know. I mean, I know you can scientifically, you know, God, there's something to it though. You know, you think of somebody, the phone rings and that's them, or you're thinking about a specific number and that number comes up over and over and over. You know, you see, you're gonna think this is silly, but like the length of this movie is 107 minutes, right? 107. The length of Signs is 107 minutes. The length of Unbreakable is 107 minutes, and the length of Sixth Sense is 107 minutes.
And you didn't plan?
I did not plan on it. The scripts are each within 25 pages in length difference, you know? And so is that just because of my rhythm, my own rhythm, that I keep coming back to 107? It's impossible to orchestrate that many elements together to get the exact same time. And this movie, I said there was no way it was going to be 107. It was the shortest script I'd written by far. It was just so tight and small, 107.
Okay. I read that your first options, I don't know if it's right, were Kirsten Dunst and Ashton Kutcher.
Well, Kirsten was definitely cast, you know, and we could not figure out how to make the schedule work. So, Kirsten.
But you were surprised because
I didn't
Bryce
realize.
Howard, she was very good in the movie, like
Yeah, I
very
mean, you know,
impressive.
yeah. Look, see, these are the signs. You know, it doesn't work out for a
And
reason.
Adrian Brody is the same. He's so good in the movie.
No, it's, you know, Ashton was somebody, I was talking to a bunch of actors about just generally about being in the movie, and there was no specifics around that at all. But, you know, Kirsten was someone that was going to be in the movie, and we couldn't work out the schedule and comfortably, you know, that I needed them beforehand and all that stuff. But as you said, you know, I mean, as it turns out, I think we just introduced the next great actress to the world.